Alright, so here we are, back at it. It's been a while. I've been working on this thing. I've added some new tabs here. The first thing is, let me show you. Here's a link to this software. It's free, it's whatever. There's nothing that special about it. I'm pretty sure it'll work. Pretty sure it'll work for you, no matter what car you have. If it's an OBD2 car from 19. Let me turn this nice music down a little bit. I'm in my F-150 today, and I just want to show you my latest version here. And I've updated my CAN monitor, and so let me connect up. Engine's not running. By the way, I added this nice live data thing here, so you can sort of check it out. Right, so these are just some of your more common. My Impala doesn't have the Bank 2, so that's why I'm in the F-150 right now. It's a V8. It's the famous 5.4 liter, and you know, so I wanted to do a multiple multiple parameters at once to see how that went. I'm not sure if anybody tries this and you have problems. I'd like to know, because of the way that I'm getting these numbers, I'm not sure it's the ideal way to get the numbers. Like, for example, I'm assuming they're always coming back from the car in a certain order. I don't know if that's a valid way to do things. It's working for the two cars I have. I haven't tried it on my girlfriend's Lexuses yet. So this is version 1.004, and so I have a nice little monitor here out front. I still have some of these things up here. You can still run these. One of the interesting ones, one of the useful ones, is the status. Gives you the status, right? So you can tell if you're, if those tests, if you're going to take your emissions, you can tell if your tests have passed or not. I haven't reset this in a while, so everything is passed. Also, I'd be curious if you're able to get fault codes. I still haven't tried this, getting multiple fault codes. I'd like to see if anybody could do that. And that'd be cool if you have some fault codes running on your. I guess I could go unplug some stuff, but this is about the bidirectional OBD2 stuff, which is like, man, it's what it is. Okay, so there it is. If you disconnect, it'll forget your VIN. If you connect, and then hit start, it'll get your VIN. Everything. Hopefully, I'd like to see this work. This should work for anybody. This is all generic stuff. I also added a tab over here for fault codes, because when you get the fault codes, if it finds them, it needs to have something to look up against. All I have right now are Ford and generic, but I have this screen over here that I needed to test. Like if you just enter one of your what's our favorite one? 420, right? Catalytic converter. But you put in any kind of number here. This may, I may have made a mistake, because I did enter this all by hand, and there are hundreds of these things, hundreds of these codes. Of course, right, this is the generic manufacturer, so if I think 1051, I think, is a Ford code, right? So not found if it's generic, but if I pop on over to Ford and look up, right, then it'll give me that. I think 1039 also is a Ford code, right? But if I set this to generic, it won't find it. And I have some more that I have to enter, but these are just normal OBD2 functions. I don't know, I'm trying to mess around. I'm trying to do some hacking. So I have this CAN monitor, deal going on here, which is really a sniffer, right? And what you have is an address. This is really an address mask. It kind of goes back to what we were saying before. Like for example, let me see if I have this notepad. I'm looking at this. I just happen to notice that one of these addresses is my gas pedal. This is the Impala. Not a whole lot going on here. I spent some time today looking at this, trying to find my locks and unlocks. Doesn't seem like there's a whole lot of data coming out of here on your can, on my can, on the F-150. And I'm curious to see if, like, this is set up to do 29-bit. The F-150 is it's an 11-bit, which is actually the maximum address is going to be 7FF. It's going to be 7FF is the highest address. But I've done some interesting things here. For example, let me go to that. Right. So we know if you say on the mask F, it's going to look at exactly just the one address that's here. So I just saw it was 201 is you have to restart that. Okay, what are we seeing here? We're seeing the data is right. It's I have this little thing here. Right, so the data is changing on this address 201. This is probably RPM or something. I'm not sure what this is. Somebody on the internet out there try to give definitions to these, but here's like clearly I found that like this last two is the pedal throw here. I want to turn the car off, right, and the can is still whoops. Alright, so now the car's back on. Let me start that again. Oh, okay, so that stopped when I shut the car off, so that probably is some kind of RPM. But see these numbers right here, the last two? This is my pedal throw, right? I'm pushing my foot down on the gas pedal. So I know that it is on address 201, but see, I want to see it all in one spot, but there may be other cases, right, where I want to have, right, this is what it's doing, is every time there's a different value comes in for address 201, it's going to give me a, right, so as I press on my foot pedal, see how it fills up? It's just going to fill this up with more values, right? I can always clear that, but see what happens, see how the values increase a little bit. Or I can say non-separate, so I can just see on the one line what it is. You kind of get what I'm saying there, right? What it is we're set at address 201, right? There's no mask, so it's exactly address 201, and that's all we're looking at. And so I can try to analyze and sniff out what's going on my network here. Now it doesn't do me much good to see where my pedal throw is at, because I don't imagine that I can bidirectionally, quote unquote, that I could sort of set my pedal position. Maybe I could accelerate the car by programming that, but that's a little crazy. Accelerate the engine or whatever, but I don't really want to mess with that. I'd rather lock and unlock my doors or something first before I do anything else. But also this log back here is also doing what it was doing in the last video, and what we have is the address is the first three digits. This digit right here, the fourth digit, is the number of bytes, and of course a byte is two of these, right? Because each one of these represents 4 bits. So there are some addresses that don't give us full 8 bytes, but what this will do is it enables, like over here you get this nice clean view of it, right? And if I want to see each separate value, I just touch the pedal for a second, I can get that. I don't have a copy here, but you can sort of just grab, I think you can, I'm not sure if you can copy that. Anyway, so let's say I want to see what's out there on address. Let me stop this. I know on address 400 there's a lot of stuff going on over there. Okay, but that's looking at exactly 401. So let's I'm gonna ease my mask up, and I'm gonna put a 0 here, and okay, I know that if I let this completely up. Alright, so now what it's gonna look for any address that starts with 4, and because of these 2 zeros, it doesn't matter what's here. So I start that, right? But see when it says can monitoring pause, that means that we ran out of buffer and this thing has just stopped monitoring, right? So when it says buffer full, we know monitor is full. But I can see all these different addresses that are being looked at here. What I can do is I can click copy, right? And then I can come over here into like just the text editor and I can paste, you know, that crap that I just, right? So it just makes copying what's in here easier. But what I can do is I can sort of look at this. I say, okay, let me look at all the addresses that are 4B. If I look at, I can see that the second digit is CB3. It's pretty limited. It's like 2, 3, B, and C. I think that's pretty much all we're going to see there. 2, 3, B, and C. So if I come over here and I say, you know, I set the second digit to be exactly, and I say 4, 2. So now it's going to look for everything that starts with a 4, 2, and because of this last 0, it doesn't care what's here, so let me start that. Alright, so that's continuing, right? So you can see how this thing is just filling up. And it's only one value, and it doesn't change, even though I have separate, this value, whatever it is, it's not changing. I don't know what it is. I don't know what this data is. Let me see if I start the car, if that changes. Oh, look at that. Interesting, right? So now I can get my separate data, but if I click this, then I can see exactly what's changing here. And look at that, it just looks like it's climbing F, and it's going to go to 0, 1. So this is some sort of counter of some sort. Looks like it's just going to go right through. I don't know what's going on over here. You know, I just want to see, I want to be able to like unlock my doors through this. 8. So I don't know I have no idea what this data is, man. Right? And here's the log. It's just getting it raw, right? I can just say copy, and then, you know, I can come over here and paste it again, you know, whatever this is, and, you know, and kind of, I could scroll through. So it's just ways of analyzing what we're getting here. You know, just trying to see what's going on. And let me stop the car. Okay, so I don't know what that is. The only data in this car that I know at this point is what? Anyway, fine. The only data that I know in this car for sure what it is 201. This is the F-150 again. This is the 2007 F-150. Stop, start. Okay, it's also getting 200, right? Because this last digit, it doesn't care. So it's everything that starts with a 2 and a 0. So I don't know what 200 is. There's like nothing there. But here we are. Here's the pedal, you know, the gas pedal press. And oh, look at that. Ah, that's interesting. So here's when I touch the brake, and then there's when I go a little bit further down on the brake. Okay, so this is like halfway up. Oh, that's interesting. All right, so what I'm going to do here, right? I'm going to make a mental note here. So let's see. So just so you can see what I'm doing. Let's see. So I know that address 200. We have something going on with the brake. Right? Brake pedal. I'll just say throw. I don't know. Might have to do with the brake light or something, right? So let's see. When I just touch the if I just touch the brake, look at that. I'm pushing the brake down by like, I'm not even. It's like maybe half an inch. It doesn't feel like it's moving at all. So this is 8 bits. So this is bit 6. So it's 6. But then if I push all the way down. Oh yeah, okay. Huh. I have to push pretty hard to get that 01. So that's going to be bytes 0 and 6. Right? Remember, we're offset. We're using 0 offset. So I don't know what byte 0 is. Alright, so byte 0 is when I push when I push really hard, right? So byte 6, right, is that 4, which is like just that noise you're hearing is right under the middle console. The thing that frees up. Ah, okay. So that 4 is like when my shifter is unlocked, and then that 1. I suspect that 1 over here is when the brake light comes. I don't know. I have to push pretty hard. The car's off right now to get that 1 to come up, like really hard. And then of course here's the gas pedal. Right? So what I can do is if I just wanted to focus in on, let's say I just wanted to focus in on 200, what I can do, because I know the address now, I can just set them all for, you know, geez. I'll just say 200. And then of course all F's mean that it's looking for exactly 200. Let me stop and start that. So now we're just looking at 200, right? And let me start the car up because the brake is tough without the vacuum. Oh, look at that. Did you see that? That looked like, let me turn the car off. Looked like when the engine starts. Huh. That's also byte 6. So let's say, okay, so byte 6 is engine start, and that's actually bit 7, and brake is what? Bit 4 is actually bit 0, 1, 2, 3 is bit 3. What does that mean? That means, you know, if I if I just looked at, you know, these very last two. Let me just copy that, right? So we know that everything up to the right. The data is everything after the 8, because the 8 is the count. Let me copy. So just to analyze what's going on here, right? We know that this right here, it's all zeros. And if we isolate this right here is byte 6. But this actually, if we analyze just byte 6, then it would be, you know, when it's 04, it would be 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 0, 0. No. Right. 8 bits. These are the bits for just this byte. And this actually equals OX4. Now I put X there so that I know it's hex. So when this is 4, we know that this is the bits. And down here, when this is 1, this is, you know, so when, right, so also byte 7 is the first one. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. So when I hit the brake, oh, that's actually byte 0. It's byte 0. That's 1, not byte 7. Bit 0. So this equals OX01. So when this is 01 here, the bits are 0, 0, 0, 0, you know, these are always 8. And each letter here represents 4. A nibble is 4 bits. So each letter here represents 4 bits. So when we see this as OX04, when I hit the brake, then what we're seeing is this bit pattern. So yeah, this is 8 bytes of 8 bits. So this actually represents 64 bits, 64 zeros and ones. And this configuration would obviously be 64 zeros, and it would be, you know, it would be the first one would be like that, and then all zeros up to the 04, which is like that. That's crazy. I know that's crazy. But the main thing is I kind of got to go with that so you sort of see what this is, what's going on with these bits and bytes. So that's interesting. What I have here, basically, I guess, is a sniffer. What do we call a sniffer? It's supposed to be 0. So if I go back to 0, this is my CAN monitor. Okay, there we go with our. Let me see. Oh yeah, see that's that's an RPM right there. Right, see how it goes up? Now it's a hexadecimal representation, and it's 2 bytes. So 201, right? Gas pedal throw is actually only byte 6 is the gas pedal throw, right? Actually, it's byte 0, 1, 1, and 6. 7 has. C7 is doesn't have anything in 201. The last, right, doesn't have anything to do with it. So it looks like the byte 6, which is the next to last byte, is the pedal throw, and byte 0 and 1, which is the first 4 numbers, is the RPM. So let's say, because you can't remember this stuff, so let's say byte 1 is byte 0, byte, oh boy, it's hard to write in the dark, man. Byte 0 and 0 and 1, I don't know how to write that, is RPM. So like the first 4 digits are going to be the RPM. And we can tell that because we know, right? And then it levels off, and then I let off, and it goes back down. C 945. So that is not going to be a direct number representing the RPM because it's got to be translated from this hex stuff, right? So 9 something hex, and there's probably some formula. So when I stop the car, this is going to go to 0 because the RPM is going to stop. So let's see. Oh, okay. Oh, because I turned the car off, so the CAN stopped. It's not monitoring. Let me turn the car on without starting it. Right. There's my pedal throw. There's my brakes. Okay. So I still haven't really gotten that far, but I have made it easy. Here, like if we wanted to see the separate data, right? There's the brake. So this is with the brake fully depressed. And the nice thing is I can sort this, right? So I can get all my 200s. So here's 200 without any brake. Here's 200 with a little bit of a brake. Here's 200 with the brake fully set. And somehow we got, I don't know what that represents. Now, of course, I'm not going to get any more, so I can clear this out. Let's set this for exactly 200. And we'll say separate data, so every time this changes we'll get a new row. So there's and then push a little harder. Here's our third one. Let up. Right. Okay, so these are the combinations, and that now I can hit it all day long. And those are the 3 combinations. So this is I can sort that if I want, but so this is just to help us. And then of course if I just want to see it in action, right? And then of course this is all getting logged down here, but this is sort of just at a fixed log rate. So this might be helpful to copy or not. Let me save this here. So this is the whole thing, right? We're sniffing out the CAN network. So N stands for network. So we're sniffing out the CAN, controller area network, and that's it, man. And of course, now remember, don't forget, right? If I want to go back and start using this other stuff, you really have to reset the device. This other stuff is not going to work, right? So let's start. Let me see. Okay. Here's our RPM, our MAF. See how my MAF is a little high? I think that's why my short-term fuel is kind of negative here. See, I mean the long-term. Sorry. Short-term, right? It's happy where it's at. Long-term is happy where it's at. But see, long-term is removing fuel. 6, 7. It's a 5.4 liter, right? And general rule of thumb is it's like it should be like around 5.4 grams per second, but it's a little high. I don't know what the hell's going on. It seems to be all right. It doesn't really depart from where it is here. So, and of course we have our. I haven't done anything with the engine RPM. Remember our nice little plot. Right? I haven't really done anything with this plot. It's there, but what would be nice, right? If I had multiple values, if we could like choose multiple values and then put them on the plot. Also, remember, you can. I don't know. Is this the right way? Should this not squeeze in like this? I should probably look at other people how they're doing their plots. I'm not sure how this plot. If I like it, should it go this way? I saw on the Gospel of Maculoco, it was going this way. That this was fixed and it was going this way. So I'm not sure what's going on here with this plot. Of course, I'm not paying a lot of attention. I'm trying to. This is cool, where we can sort of get a live view. You can't do this at the same time, right? So I wrote the software to sort of lock up these buttons. And you can get this software to have a mental problem. Like if I start the can, right? Here's our break. If I start the can and then stop it and then just go and try to do something. Okay, it worked. Sometimes it'll all the buttons will be stuck and you can't connect or do anything. In that case, you're just gonna have to crash the software. You're gonna have it won't be frozen. You can always just stop the software, but you're gonna have to just, if you can't disconnect and you can't control it, you're just gonna have to close it and restart it. So, see? Yeah, see, that's because we never reset it after the. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. It at least let go. It let go that time. I thought I saw a condition. Yeah, see? Here it is. It's resetting and it's never going to stop resetting. And then we're never going to be able, right, all the buttons are disabled. I'm never going to be able to do anything, right? So I'm stuck. Right, so this gets stuck. Like, what is this? I don't even know what this is. Yeah, it gets, if you're messing with the can, it messes up the whole protocol, the whole system. So I have to stop that. And again, here's my software that I use to write, right? Look at this. Here's all the requests. All this, like when you get your VIN, here's the function that gets the VIN. Like all this code here, this character parsing. When you get the PIDs, I got to do all this code. Right? Each one of these has a code. Here's the codes, right? These are the generic codes. But then every code has its own little piece of decoding code, right? Every OBD code has its little function. And here's the C# code. I'm using C# to do this. Status since last clear. Yeah, it's all, look at all this crazy stuff in here, man. So I gotta write, like freeze frame, fall, like coolant temperature. See, there's like crazy calculations. This means multiply. Fuel trim. I have to do some kind of crazy calculations with this. Anyway, so I have to come back here. I'm when I start it from here, I'm actually debugging it so that if I wanted to, I can come into the software and see what's going on. Like, this code here is maybe I'll make a video on this code, but it's fairly It's not really that complicated if you're a programmer. If you're not a programmer, it's nuts. It really is nuts. So you got to start it and stop it, and everything will be fine. But the thing is, if you go into the CAN monitor and you start messing around with the CAN, everything comes back, But if you start messing with the CAN monitor, stop, start, there's our RPMs. If you're messing with the CAN and you don't reset the device, then you can't, nothing, the other stuff is going to mess up on you. And the way you reset is this will say auto. Current address is auto. If the current address is something like what used to, like 201, right? And if I stop the car without turning it off, oh, there's no way to stop the car without turning it off. Okay, so I don't know what these numbers are. Maybe this is the odometer. Maybe about 271. Let me just copy this. Anyway, so there it is. There's my software. It's available right now. You go and get it if you feel adventurous. I mean, it is functional to some degree. You can do some stuff. Otherwise, thanks for watching, and wish I gotta make up something to say at the end of my video. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time, man.